Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm that doll guy, and it's been a minute because summer is always busy, but I'm bringing to you today a diorama that's kept me especially busy. This diorama and this custom one-of-a-kind doll that I've been working on with some of my friends has probably been one of the most complex, most detailed, most maybe time-consuming that I've ever done. So I want to tell you a little bit about this diorama and its construction, my custom one-of-a-kind, Yvonne Craig Batgirl. I did post a bunch of photos on in the Facebook groups and on my Instagram, which is the Real That Doll Guy, to show my storylines. And I did promise some of my friends I would. They were asking like, how did I make this? So I thought I'd make a video and talk about how I designed this diorama, which is from the 1966 TV series Batman, where Yvonne Craig, Batgirl, had her secret room with the revolving wall, where she would change from Barbara Gordon into Batgirl. So I'm going to try to process and try to explain how I did this, because there's a lot of parts to this. So we start with a, excuse me, summer allergies. We start with just the tri-fold project board that I always use. I think it's 36 by 48. And I bought some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby and used some Google Images. These actually might be from my Froggy Stuff blogspot. Print those off, and I use wrinkle-free rubber cement to paste them, the wallpaper down. And then I print off from my Froggy Stuff the trim that goes on. So that's just my basic tri-fold project board. I do use photos from the show on Google and watch some YouTube videos to really get the details of how this room is supposed to look. So the major focus being the revolving wall. So if you're ever curious as to how this works, just YouTube video Batgirl's secret room, and you'll see videos of how this wall works. Or if you're old enough like me to remember originally how it worked, you will see that Barbara Gordon would make her way across her bedroom to her vanity, and she would push a button underneath her vanity and it would spin this wall around. So while it's not mechanized, it's a manual wall, what I did was to make it spinnable. Look who's here. Hi. My Maisie Lynn. You know, I can't scarcely make a video without this baby want to come over and visit. It's almost like she knows what I'm doing and she just wants to be on camera. So that's my Maisie Lynn. This is my baby. Hi, sweetie. So I had to figure out how to make this spinning wall. I had the concept in my mind. So what I did was I started with, obviously, the wall. This is that foam board, which I cut down a little bit to size to make the wall. Covered it, again, this wallpaper is from a Google image. And then we have the same brick on this other side where it's the secret room wall. And this is also that foam board that I cut. I used a giant salad bowl to cut it down the same width. I wanted to get these the same. Ironically, I didn't think to really adjust the floorboards or the trim or the molding. However, it seemed to not work that bad anyway. If you look in the corner there, they're not too off. I didn't think to kind of adjust the height for when this is going to be up by maybe, I don't know what it is, maybe a quarter or a third of an inch. I don't know. Oh, Rosie, don't cry, baby. So I have my grandpuppy who's feeling emotional today. But anyway, so oh, and then my flooring is the chartreuse, just poster board I bought for 99 cents a piece. I used 2 to go along the length of my table. And then I covered this foam board also with the same chartreuse poster board and painted the edge a matching chartreuse green to kind of just have it not look too conspicuous. So I painted, or I cut it circular, so it could just, I guess, you could manually spin it for when you do photos. You just kind of just slightly turn it at different angles to show the spin while you're doing photos. You could also, if you do that was a stop motion photography or videos, that would work too. You just had to manually turn it yourself. But so the way that I got this wall to be a perfect 45-degree angle really was finding this Gorilla Glue type super glue. It's not the kind of Gorilla Glue that gets bubbly and weird. This really kind of stays, luckily not bubbly or foamy or expand much. So, and it cures in 10 seconds. So it gave me, I didn't have to really hold it for too long. I did have to kind of make sure I kept it at a perfect 45-degree angle. And I had to make sure that I got it right the first time, exactly on the middle of this circular thing that I cut. So again, with other things I've done, I only had one chance to really get this right. So luckily I nailed it. And so that stands by itself. That is standing just from glue. It's not even attached to the trifold project board. It's a separate piece. Then what I did was, for the wall itself, again, Google Images, found some cameos I just inverted to make two of them, like from her wall decor. This is a My Fancy Life or a Gloria, just one of those cheap vanity sets. And I just took the legs off. I popped the mirror off and I painted that silver because her mirror was silver. I think this one originally comes as gold. And I spray painted, this is like a Rust-Oleum ×2 built-in primer spray paint. I believe this is green apple. I just had various shades of green in the room. Her room had various shades of green as well from the TV show. Then I just filled it with some of the, those from those balls. Those little mini balls or mini fashions, I think, are just some pieces from that. This stool was from a dollar store clone doll, the Careers doll that I think was a teacher that I got from Big Lots, I think. So this is actually a table for little kids, but I made it be her vanity seat because it looks like the one from the TV show, kind of. Then this, she actually has two end tables in the TV show, but didn't have enough room. I did spray paint too, and also did two of these lamps, but couldn't squeeze them in. So those are also from the Glory or My Fancy Life. Probably a living room set, spray painted in white. Again, that 2X Rust-Oleum with primer. Rosie Marie, stop. I'm trying to make a video, please. So she had some white furnishings in her apartment, along with a chair sitting next to her vanity. This is just a Barbie dining room chair that I spray painted a glossy white. Her bed is a vintage bed that I had for one of my other dream houses. I hand stitched these pillows and hand cut out this as a bedspread because I'm not a great sewer. This is a Google image that's very similar to her wall hanging that was from the show. And then I used more foam board to carve out this headboard shape and put the bat in the middle. It looks a little rough. You know, I'm not that creative. I'm not that crafty. I did have to use it with an X-Acto knife to make this, but then I just kind of painted it white and with brush on paint, because spray paint you can't use on foam board because it'll wrinkle and be weird. And so then I followed up with just coating it with glitter to kind of clean up a little bit. It looked a little bit rough. That kind of softens some of the errors a little bit. So I did use that, and then it's kind of just tackum gummed, that stickum gum that you, it's blue or gray, and you kind of ball it up and it sticks to stuff, so you don't have to use, like, I don't know, hangers or something, or nails in walls for pictures and stuff. So that's holding that on. I use tackum gum for lots of stuff. So this is her bedroom side, and that's how I made this side. So this is her being Barbara Gordon, getting ready to hit the switch, and then you spin this thing around slowly, take your photos, and then, as we know, when we get to this side over here, this is where she gets her costume. So this is just the opposite side of that wall. This was a dining room chair from a My Fancy Life dinette. Or no, this was actually the actual chair to that vanity. And I just popped the back off and spray painted because it was more like a stool seat from the TV show, and I painted green. This is just some metallic silver, oh, what is that? Oh, scrapbook paper. And then I just cut out framing from Google Images and just kind of pasted around there. Different kind of more industrial trim that I printed off. I found this on Google just to kind of set it apart from like bedroom to like more of a utilitarian type look, or more, you know, whatever you call it. I can't find my words today. It's been a long day. More, you know, like utility. I don't know what the word is. So this is just a computer panel I printed off from Google. We'll get to talking about her in a minute. She's almost a whole other video. It took me so long to get her figured out. So this shelf is, again, more of that foam board that I painted. You can't spray paint this. You have to brush paint it. I did give it like a little support on the bottom. Looks a little rough under there, but we're not supposed to look and see that. And then I use that same Gorilla super glue to kind of glue to the back of the support and on the back of the shelf. So it's a floating shelf, which is for her hand mirror, her wig stand, and her boots. So if you check out my Instagram, or see if you're part of any of the Facebook groups for Barbies and that kind of stuff, you might see my stuff, Jim Nesbitt. You'll probably see my post, my storyline for this. So stop, sweetie. Oh my goodness gracious. Come here, baby. You're just doing the most today. You're feeling so emotional. So emotional today. It's all right. It's okay. Papa's almost done, and then we'll go outside. And then you can run around. And this is also my other baby, Mango. If you see my videos before, my babies, they just love to be a part of a video. I'm not the best YouTuber in the world, obviously. I'm not professional. I'm not good at this. I just have an iPhone, and I just, you know, shoot videos and do dolls and play with chihuahuas and all that good stuff. So these are my these are my babies. We'll get to just let me just finish, okay? And then we'll go outside and have some fun. I can't say that too loud because then they'll get really antsy. But this is my Mango. Okay, let's get back to this. Shelf. Okay, so we also made a pegboard and put a spare costume. I cut out a cape, just cut out a bat cape from the material that I had to kind of hang, to kind of look like a prop for when she grabs her Batgirl costume like the TV show. That cowl, it doesn't match, so that's a spare Catwoman cowl that I have, so they're different colors, but I just used it for the photo shoot because that's what the TV show had. Because when I tell you about this gal, you'll see why I didn't use hers, because it's basically on her for good, hopefully. So just to kind of get back to like my train of thought, so we have this side is her Batgirl secret room, and no Batgirl secret room would be complete without her secret compartment for her bat cycle. So I cut out, again, I used a bowl to cut out the shape of this, for this little opening like you see on the TV show when she had this door, like this hatch. I kept the cutout for this, and I kind of made the metallic scrapbook paper a little bigger to kind of pop this, and so this pops back in. And I made a little foam board handle. I glittered it because it looked really rough, painted red. So I just glittered it. In photos, you lose some resolution so you can't see anyway. Hand drew the little swirly things that's on the hatch door, and that pops in. So if I was free-handed, I could pop this in and it would look like it's, you know, closed. And then she opens it and boom, there's her bat cycle. So I cut this out and then I lined it with more of this metallic scrapbook paper. I just used some metallic paint on the tip of a paintbrush, like the handle end, to kind of just put fake rivets on there to kind of just make it look industrial. That's the word I was looking for before, industrial. Yeah, industrial. So it looks more industrial. And so this is just a spare room, but I'll show you my little behind the scenes secret. So basically, I bought this little smaller project board. You can get these for like $1 and change at Walmart. It's just a little teeny tiny project board. And so that's kind of like a special little room where the motorcycle goes in there. Then you kind of just paper it, you know, use the same kind of brick wallpaper from my Froggy Stuff blog spot to have, so it's just fully done. And it sits in there for when she wants to go ride her motorcycle. I had so much better thoughts in my mind for how this video was going to go. I thought it was going to be awesome and dope, and it was going to be like, this is great. But as always, very amateur. So let's talk about this Barbie. Barbara Gordon Batgirl. I've been wanting a Yvonne Craig Batgirl for the longest because the reason why I like her so much, I mean, of course, when you have the different versions from comic books and cartoons and TV shows and all that kind of stuff, there's so many different versions of Catwoman, Batgirl, Batman. There's just so many, Robin, oh my goodness, so many different versions. But I always like the purple and the yellow costume of the original Yvonne Craig Batgirl from the TV show. Love purple, it's one of my favorite colors, and I like how it plays with the yellow. So her costume is always my favorite costume, even though we've seen Batgirl with gray and yellow and blue and black and some versions of purple. We've seen Stephanie Brown. She had a primarily purple as an homage to the Yvonne Craig costume, but you can't beat the Lycra sparkly purple and yellow costume from the 60s. So I've always wanted one. I've tried to make a few, they all failed. So I utilized some of my friends who can sew and who are great at this kind of stuff. So I had one friend, Tanya Lawrence, she sewed my cape for me. It is the metallic purple from one side and then a yellow satin on the inside. And then my friend Jenny Rose from Etsy and on Facebook, she made the bodysuit from the fabric. So I found this fabric on Etsy. It's a purple metallic. It's a little bit stretchy, very shiny, feels great. It does stain, it is lined inside with yellow, so it does stain doll bodies, just FYI. If you ever use this stuff, always know that you have the risk of staining your doll bodies by putting it on if it's lined in black. Or maybe red or purple. But anyway, so I kind of commissioned out those parts to get those done because I don't sew. This cowl I painted and glittered from a 2004 pink label Batgirl. So I had to use a little seam ripper to kind of remove the cowl from the original doll. I didn't cut anything away because I knew I was going to reattach it. A lot of times these face plates, these black fronts on them are kind of crumbly. Mattel didn't use the best materials for these dolls back in the day, so I had to paint it, seal it, paint it. I've done layers of painting and sealer. With the last one actually being a matte black because the sealer was just too shiny for her. So that's where her cowl is. This is a belt from one of the DC superhero girl Barbies, Batgirls. Her gloves and boots were from a 2004, like the regular Batgirl Barbie Batgirl. When they came out they had the Supergirl with like the white gloves and the white halter top, and they had Wonder Woman, they had Poison Ivy, and they had Harlequin. And they had Batgirl. So I used some parts from that Batgirl to make this one. So again, I don't sew, so I customized things. So I took her gloves, painted them purple, used adhesive. I can't remember if I used spray adhesive or if I just brushed on some Mod Podge, I'm not sure. And I just shook it in a bag of matching ultra fine purple glitter. Same thing with the boots, but these boots, they are the yellow boots, the yellow hard plastic boots from that 2004 Barbie Batgirl that I cut down. I kind of cut them with an X-Acto knife to give them the scallops from the boots that Yvonne Craig wore. So she has those scallops. Painted purple and glittered just like the gloves and the cowl. So those are all kind of like all matching together, matching the base color of the purple costume. And so that's that. I got this emblem from eBay. Oops, my finger's in the way of my thing. If you search Mego Batgirl emblem, you'll see World's Greatest Superheroes, which is a seller. They do a lot of reproduction Mego stuff. This is the emblem for the 8-inch, which fit this gal. She's, of course, 11.5 inches as a Barbie doll. And so it's perfectly to scale for her because the emblem on the Yvonne Craig Batgirl wasn't that big. Don't get the 12-inch one. It's not a good color. It's more got a green cast to it. The size is okay, it's a little bit big. I wanted the bright yellow. So if you do this, look for those emblems. Make sure they're vinyl, not paper. Very important, you want the best quality stuff, and these are less than $4, but then you got shipping. So that pulled her look together from the TV show. The doll itself, I started off by using a 1973 reproduction Dr. Barbie doll, but she had a face defect. I started rooting her, saw she had a face defect. I tried to fix it by sanding it. It just got worse. That's when I found it for 20 bucks at TJ Maxx, and so I thought, oh, well, I'm out 20 bucks, no big deal. But then by that time, I got a replacement, which, just FYI, the 1973 reproduction Dr. Barbies, notoriously defective for lip misprints and dinged noses and wonky eyes and just horrible, horrible screen defects. And they're so expensive, and that's what I originally used. And I've bought a couple since then. I screwed up one thinking I'd fix it. Oh God, I just spent so much money on just these reproductions, trying to get them to fix factory defects that made them worse. I have other projects in mind for those mishaps, so I'm salty, but not too salty. I'll deal with it. But what this is, so what I do, so this is the body from that doll. So reproduction TNT body, a twist at the waist, bend leg, straight arm. So then the head that I did a vintage search I did a search on eBay for vintage Barbie heads. This is a busy Barbie head. Bought it for, I don't know, 20 bucks or whatever it was, can't remember. But you can find lots of different heads. That you can find reproduction bodies, or you can rebody or use whatever. So, but when I got her, I kind of failed to remember that over time, this particular head would shrink and harden. So I did reroot her. She had blonde hair. I cut it out and cut it off and cleaned her up. And then I went on Etsy to Doll Hair Planet, and I got copper or red copper hair to root into my Barbara Gordon. Very difficult to do. I broke a lot of rooting needles because this head was hard as a rock. But I got it done. And then I just dunked her in boiling hot water in a baggie to kind of soften that head, popped it on the reproduction body, and there we go. Because I wanted her to kind of look, you know, kind of as close to that time as possible. I didn't want to use a modern contemporary Barbie and just have her kind of not fit there, because she should be, this gal should work in conjunction with like the 2012 Pink Label Batman Ken doll that came out with the Julie Newmar Catwoman doll. And also I made a custom, if you look through my videos, I made a custom Eartha Kitt Catwoman from season 3, which Yvonne Craig does when she made her debut. So she should work in conjunction with those dolls. She should not look like a modern face doll, contemporary doll, fitting in with vintage, even though the Batman doll is kind of like a repro of a vintage Ken. It just kind of works for me. So this worked for me, so this is what we have. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, and then to get this costume on, because this costume is very tight, it's very clingy and stretchy, and she does have rubber legs, I had to coat this doll in a lot of baby powder to slide in this outfit. If this would have gone on better on a made to move, this doll is, you know, I did have to kind of fix a little, I had to do a fabric repair. It did split kind of like on the inner leg in the back, which you can't see because I am such a great fixer. So no big deal, but she can't kick high. She's not very posable. I did put her on her motorcycle for some photographs. But she just not super, she ain't gonna do no high kicks. She ain't gonna be super action packed, because you don't wanna tear that fabric because it is so tight with those rubber legs and all. Put this on a made to move body and you have much more flexibility. I do have several of this costume because I do have some purple versions of the Jim Ballant Catwoman on made to move, and it bends beautifully. So this fabric is great. It's just the body I chose in keeping with that era just is not conducive to this fabric. But, you know, I feel like she looks great, and she has some limited posability for, hi, back again, I'm almost done. Can you believe I don't edit these? I should. But anyway, so I just want to show you guys my custom Yvonne Craig Batgirl doll and this entire diorama that I did. It was a lot of fun to do. It was time consuming for sure. Probably one of the more involved ones I've done. There's just so many working parts to it, like the rotating wall, the motorcycle room, just getting the bits right, you know, making like a wig stand. That's a, by the way, that's a vintage Barbie wig from probably either like a Miss Barbie or a Fashion Queen Barbie, one of the two. Yeah, just so many details I had to work out and kind of do. And you know, I'm a busy person. I work a 9-to-5 job as a social worker in the mental health field. So I do have a lot going on in like my work life. So this is actually my relaxation for the most part. Even though a lot of doll stuff does cause me a lot of anxiety because of my OCD, and this is fun for me at the end of the day. It's just is a lot of work. It is a little bit of a money investment, but you know, you can sit back and say, wow, this is kind of like something I've always wanted to do. And when people see your work and really kind of appreciate like the artistry behind it and the original inspiration from the TV show, then it kind of makes it worth it. But anyway, this is probably one of the longest videos I've ever probably recorded. If you have any questions about how I did this, feel free to comment below. And enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it. I still have so much to do today because it's just been such a weird, hectic, fun, kind of busy, creative weekend. But now it's time to get some housework done and laundry and everything else. So you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully you have some fun, have some doll fun, have some superhero fun, some comic book fun. Whether you're having fun or whether you're relaxing reading a comic book, hopefully you guys are having the best weekend ever, and enjoy the upcoming week. And we'll see you soon.